been a really busy week here in the legislature. Of course, as we went through the veto session / wrap-up session, we've reached the final day. Today is a day known as sine die, which means without another day. Usually this day is set about 20 days after the final adjournment, which will come sometime today. Things were done a little bit differently as a result of the Senate making an adjournment motion to be on this particular day, and also the very last day. So this is the last day that the legislature can take any formal action. But more importantly, it's what we've done this week. It's been a very productive week in the sense that both chambers passed their mega budget bills for the remainder of the 2018 fiscal year, as well as the 2019 fiscal year. If you've been following things, the Senate passed their budget bill by a count of 26-14, and then yesterday the House passed a similar bill, 98-23. It's been a pretty long haul, and we did do a lot of good work, I think, in the Appropriations Committee, and then our budget negotiators did a really fine job, and I can't say enough about that process. It's a very responsible budget, and in fact, we took care of a few of the things that had been cut in previous years, restored some funding to the to the Regents institutions, and then also I'll get to that in a minute. Talk in getting a education finance package over to the Supreme Court. But one of the things that I would point out is that the revenues have been on an upward track since about August, and so at the end of this fiscal year, we will be sitting on about a $447 million ending balance. That's projected to be somewhere around $375 million in the next fiscal year. I think this is really a responsible thing to do, because I look back in my early days in the legislature where we used to always have a 7.5% ending balance, sometimes referred to as a rainy day fund, and I think this day and age that's a very good thing to do. So we did do a number of really good things in this budget, with various state agencies that had seen some pretty aggressive cuts in the previous years. Now, the other thing that remains as of this recording is the fact that the House has to take up the Senate's tax cut bill, which passed by a very narrow margin in the Senate. I think that vote was 21-19. I believe most of us feel that there's a good time to probably do some tax cuts, but that's what got us in trouble here the last 4 years, and we are now on very good, financial footing, and I think that the trend is still going to continue to go up as far as our, state revenues coming in. There's also some unknowns out there, such as the full effects of the federal tax bill that was passed earlier this year. So a lot of us feel that a tax cut package at this time is a little bit premature. Possibly next year might be a good time to take that up as we see how things play out. We did do some really good work, as I mentioned, but I think we might be treading in some areas we don't want to get into here just yet. Now, the other thing that looms out there is the fact that we have a school finance package over at the Supreme Court for their review. In fact, one of the first things we had to do when we got back here after the spring break was we had to fix a kind of a technical error. There was $80 million that wasn't included in the funding, although it was in the actual, in the actual package. It was just that it wasn't appropriated, and so we did send a package over there of $523 million. And once we got this fix in there, this technical fix, it remained at 523. We are at the final day, and we will take that tax bill up in the House. Not sure how that's going to go. As I mentioned, it's very close in the Senate. I think what I'm hearing from a lot of House members, they're a little bit concerned about taking on a tax cut bill at this time. It'd be somewhere around $80 million, and a lot of us would like to just see this trend of positive revenues coming in and see how that goes. Along the way, there was this past week there was a lot of conference committee reports on bills dealing with a number of issues, And so we'll probably be, getting that word out here in the coming weeks, especially when those things start coming into law. You'll hear a lot about them, especially at the beginning of the fiscal year. It's been a really, I think, a productive legislative session, one that I was very proud to be part of. I can't say enough about our Appropriations Committee, as well as the Senate Ways and Means Committee as well, working on a budget and a responsible budget. I think we've done that, and I've been working with a great group of people, and I look forward to the coming weeks and talking to the folks in the 111 District and letting you know what happened down here this session.